Welcome back, everyone, to the ADD Show, where we're not always right, but we're never wrong. As always, I'm Mark.
And I'm Hans, and welcome back, everybody. We are moving into week 18.
Yeah, first time ever.
First time ever.
Not only for the show, but for the NFL.
Yeah, first time for both.
Yeah.
And this is great. We have a lot to talk about today. A lot of teams have clinched their playoffs, and a lot of teams can do it this weekend.
Yep.
There's also a lot of scenarios where teams who you didn't think can clinch need a lot of help. Ravens are one of those teams. There's a few others we'll name. But other than that, Mark, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good.
Doing fantastic. It's been a long time as a Bengals fan. Even the years where they were going like with Dalton and Green and Geno Atkins, those teams that went to the playoffs 7 straight years, I think only once did I think this is a special team. This is a good team. Carson Palmer had a year where the team was 2 years where the team was, I think, unbeatable. And I do mean that. Like, it's just the way they were playing at the right time. And the first play of the game, second play of the game against Pittsburgh in the wild card round after winning the North, they were in the wild card. A guy gets blocked low into Carson Palmer's knee, blows his knee out, and season over, game over. Like, you can't come back from that. And then they were killing it in a season, and they were number 1 in the AFC in the division, and then Chris Henry dies. Not Chris Henry. Chris Henry.
Was it Chris Henry, the wide receiver?
Yeah, he dies tragically, and the team didn't even make the playoffs. But this team is different. Like, so I'm excited. Like, I really am. This team is different. That game against the Chiefs was arguably one of the best games of the season, I feel, and I might be biased. I don't know if you have other games like, but the way the Bengals got punched in the mouth in the beginning and just kept coming back.
Yeah.
That to me shows something, especially from a team like the Chiefs. The Chiefs are the cream of the crop. They're the team that you judge yourself against. You know, when the Bills beat them this year, when Tennessee beat them this year, the last 2 years they didn't. Yeah. They didn't win those games, and they did, and that's how they, prove that, all right, we're here. And the Bengals did it this year, and I'm just really excited. We won the North, but there is, like you said, the NFC seeds 2 through 5 are up for grabs. Everybody has clinched the playoffs there, but seeds 2 through 5 are up for grabs. Number 1 seed is set. Yeah. 1 through 4 in the AFC, anything can happen. Anything can happen there. And then also in the AFC, 6 and 7. You've got the Chargers, Raiders, Colts, Steelers, and Ravens battling for the 6th and 7th spot. And then for 2 through 5 in the NFC, Rams, Tampa, Dallas, and the Cards. It's up for grabs. Eagles made the playoffs. I know on this show, we called them a dumpster fire. We said that they're a disaster. And they won 9 games?
Yeah, no, 8.
No, they're 9 and 7.
They're 9 and 7.
They could be 10 and 7 if they beat the Cowboys this weekend. It's not like Green Bay is going to rest. Tennessee, Kansas City, Cincinnati, Buffalo, and Buffalo probably will not rest their starters.
With not having to buy teams now, teams aren't going to rest in Week 17, making Week 17 a more intriguing schedule matchup.
Week 18.
I'm sorry, 18. You know what I meant. But the last week in the season now is more intriguing because teams, except for Green Bay, most people are going to bench their starters.
Yes. Chargers versus Vegas, depending on what happens with Indianapolis, Jacksonville. I laugh, and everybody's like, oh, well, Indianapolis, that's a easy win. They haven't won in Jacksonville since 2014. Logan threw that out in the group
and they
chat,
play pretty much every year.
And I was shocked at that one because you had Andrew Luck seasons, you had this. They're in the same division, and Jacksonville had some really ass teams.
They also had one really good one.
Yeah, though that one year where they should have gone to the Super Bowl, but they blew it against the Patriots. But it's just Week 18. Week 18, and you only have one team that technically could rest their starters. and feel comfortable. Now, granted, the Bengals, the Chiefs, the Titans, the
Listen, here's the thing too.
and they could rest
Everybody,
because they've clinched the first 4
that's
seeds.
the thing. Essentially, everybody can rest. Dallas can rest. The Bengals can rest. Anybody who's won their division can rest if they want. The thing is like I'll use Dallas for example. If you win this game, there's a potential chance that when you play in the playoffs, you're playing the Eagles. But if you lose this upcoming game, or potentially what the Cardinals do, you may be playing the Cardinals again. So a lot of these teams, do you want to play the Eagles back-to-back weeks, or do you want to get redemption on the Cardinals? And that's kind of the thing where a lot of teams are like, we could go from the 4th seed to the 2nd seed. Unless you're the AFC, nobody's catching Green Bay at the moment. So now it just depends on where do you want to be. Do you want to be the 4th seed playing the 5th, or do you want to be the 2nd seed? I know that's what Dallas is fighting for. I know that's what the Rams are fighting for.
So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
If Cardinals win and Rams lose, Cardinals win the division, correct? If Tampa Bay wins, is Cardinals 3, Tampa Bay's 2?
I would think so. Yeah, because Tampa Bay beat us and Cardinals beat us. So, yeah, we'd probably move to the 4.
You'd be 4. So, technically, no matter what, you're 4.
I think so.
Okay,
but if we win, that all changes. I think it still determines on what they do, possibly, because of our conference schedule and our records in our conference.
Right. If the Rams lose and the Cardinals win and you win, you're all 12-5. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Does Tampa Bay jump to 2,
I think
and then
they do.
Dallas is 3, or does Dallas stay at 4?
I think we will stay at 3, and they'll be 4 because we're undefeated against our division.
So you would jump up to 3.
To 3.
Because you're 4 right now.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think it matters. I could be wrong. I'm sure the guys will let us know. I don't have the scenarios on my phone, but I don't think it matters. If Dallas loses, they're 4. They're 4 right now. If they win and the Cardinals win, I still think there's a chance that they finish 3 because we're undefeated against our conference. We'll be 8-0 against them.
Okay.
Oh, well, 6-0. Sorry.
6-0.
We wouldn't have lost a game, whereas I think the Cardinals did.
Cardinals would have been... Yeah, they're 4-1 right now, so they play Seattle this week.
Yeah, so to me, it doesn't matter. It personally does not matter to me. I would rather see Arizona in the playoffs than I would the Eagles. That's just me. And the reason is because the Eagles play us tougher than anybody because they're our rival, and I don't want to see them back-to-back weeks.
You do know Kyler's undefeated at Jerry's World, right?
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
It means something.
But we'll play him again, but if we're the 4 seed, depending on where they finish, we're not going to be playing them.
You'd rather play, like if you jumped up to the 3 seed, you'd play San Fran.
Yeah.
You'd rather play San Fran than...
The Eagles?
Than the Eagles?
Probably.
Oof. All right.
But again,
all right.
The San Fran reminds me of the Dolphins. Do you want to play the Dolphins right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, but both those teams are winning, and you don't really know how. I still think they're good, but I still don't think they're winning their division good. I think the 49ers are good, but I'd still rather play them than a divisional opponent. Like in the first round of the playoffs, do you want to play the Ravens or the Dolphins in the AFC?
Right now?
Yeah.
The Ravens.
That's what I'm saying about the Eagles. I'd rather play the Eagles than the 49ers. I'm kind of using the NFC side.
Well, that's what I just said. You'd rather play the Eagles than I'd rather play you said the 49ers.
Oh, I meant to say the Eagles. I'm sorry. I'd rather take yes, I'm sorry. I meant to say I'd rather play the Eagles. Sorry, I was confused.
All right.
Yes,
yeah,
I would rather play the Eagles right now over that, but I'd choose Arizona and anybody. If there's any way we could get Arizona, if they can fall into the wild card, I would take it, which can happen if the Rams win.
So, interesting scenario.
Yeah.
If the Colts lose to Jacksonville, Sunday night, if it ends in a tie, both teams make the playoffs.
Yep.
Isn't that weird? But if both teams don't tie and one team wins and Pittsburgh wins, Pittsburgh's in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. That's just crazy to me. That Pittsburgh's still eligible.
If you're the Ravens and the Chargers, do you talk about this in the bye week? Do you talk about it this week?
The Raiders and the Chargers?
Mm-hmm. Oh, are you talking about it?
If Jacksonville loses, I make the call saying, "Hey, what do you think? You want to both make the playoffs and just see what happens?" Mm-hmm. But that's collusion and that's against the rules, so you can't really do that. But that's just a weird scenario that is playing out.
It'd be crazy if the Chargers were lining up for the game-winning field goal and just laces out.
True. But as it sits right now, Cincinnati plays Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. Tennessee has the bye. Kansas City would play the Chargers.
That's not a matchup I want if I'm the Bengals.
And then Buffalo, New England. Mm-hmm. That's some interesting stuff. Now, I don't want to be if I'm New England, because you lost to Indianapolis. So if Indianapolis wins and the Patriots lose, Indianapolis jumps to 5 and the Patriots fall to 6. So it's just really weird how these scenarios.
That's why I like this extra week, because it allows teams not to bench their starters, because now there's only one bye week spot, and now there's the extra wild card spot teams are fighting for. I mean, you got to remember, there's a lot of teams up for grabs, a lot more teams up for grabs in the AFC than the NFC right now, but there's a lot of teams eligible. I think there's only one spot open in the NFC playoffs, right? It's the 7th seed, and it's like the Vikings and someone else, right?
It's technically the 6th seed.
Yeah.
And it's New Orleans and San Francisco.
Yeah, so those are the two that can win it.
Yeah,
I'll take New Orleans again.
If New Orleans wins,
yeah,
I don't know who they're playing. I can't find it real fast.
Is it the Panthers?
Falcons. So the Saints are playing the Falcons, and San Francisco is playing the Rams. And funny stat there, San Francisco, Mike Shanahan's never lost to Sean McVay. That's interesting right there, too, because that's...
Yeah, the NFC West is extremely interesting. Extremely interesting because, correct me if I'm wrong, there's 3 teams in the playoffs in that division right now, right?
Yes.
3 teams. Can any three of them be knocked out? If the 49ers lose, are they out? Depending on who wins.
If New Orleans wins.
If New Orleans wins.
If New Orleans wins, San Francisco's
But San Francisco
out.
Can't win the division. It's between the Rams and the Cardinals.
No. So San Francisco is either the 6th seed or they're out, or they're the 8th seed looking in.
I would take Saints if they somehow won and 49ers lost. I'd love to play the Saints. That'd be a matchup I'd take. But this is the thing. I know we make jokes about matchups we take. The playoffs are where the best are the best. I get we have wild cards, but even if you're number 1, number 2, 3, 4 seed, some of the wild card teams you don't want to play. Like, no offense, if you guys finish 2nd and the Bengals find a way to finish 1st in the conference, I mean, which probably won't happen. It could. It can still happen.
If Tennessee and Kansas City lose,
it can
and
still
Cincinnati
happen.
wins, they get the number 1 seed.
I don't want to. If you don't get the number 1 seed, I don't want to play the Colts right now. If Derrick Henry comes back in the playoffs, I don't want to play them either. That's the thing, is the AFC matchups are incredibly difficult.
So New England, Indianapolis, Chargers, or Vegas?
If I had to pick one, say them again.
New England, Indianapolis, Chargers, Vegas, and technically Pittsburgh.
Chargers and Vegas.
You'd rather play them
than Indianapolis and who? Who was the other one?
New England.
Yeah, no. I don't want to play either one of those teams in the playoff. Bill Belichick, and then you have to worry about Jonathan Taylor. Tennessee, too. You got to worry about Derrick Henry if he's healthy week 1. I would take the Chargers matchup. They're inconsistent. I would take the Raiders matchup. They're inconsistent. I would damn sure take the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Baltimore has a chance, too.
Yeah,
they
but they need
chance.
They need 3 things to happen. I was looking at today. I don't think they're going to make it. But so that's my thing. These matchups are incredible, and that's why I like this time of the year, is because you can sit here and you can just debate on what could or should happen. But next week's episode is where it's going to be. We're going to be able to see who's playing who and go from there.
With that,
into this week's games?
Yeah, this week's games starts off, it's Chiefs-Broncos. Chiefs are playing for home field advantage.
Yep.
See, all these games, it's funny because it's sort of like, I don't know if you're into Premier League soccer.
No.
Premier League soccer, the last game of the season, everybody plays at the same time. Everybody plays at the same time. So you don't really know where you are. Like, if it's a battle for first, second, third, or even in the Premier League,
that's the thing,
if you
about
finish bottom 5,
there's no
you're
night
out of
game.
the league.
So there's no night game, kind of like where you see what happens.
Well,
you're like, we're good.
Chargers-Raiders are the night game.
That's why it's there.
So,
but in Premier League, you're saying that doesn't happen.
Correct.
Where you're not watching everybody going, hey, let's see what they do.
Right.
Let's see what Manchester does.
So
gotcha.
Chiefs and Titans and Bengals and Buffalo are all playing. Well, Buffalo has no chance at the number 1 seed. Because of tiebreakers with Cincinnati. Now, if Cincinnati loses, Kansas City and Tennessee lose, and Buffalo wins, I still think Tennessee gets the number 1 seed because I think Tennessee beat Buffalo. So it's interesting there too. But so Chiefs Broncos, they were good for a little bit, but their lack of quarterback came back to bite them in the ass.
Of course it did.
And I just don't see it. I see the Broncos winning, the Chiefs winning this game, because the Chiefs want home field. They don't want to go to Tennessee. They don't want to go to Cincinnati again. They don't want to go to Buffalo.
No.
They want to stay home. And not that weather's a factor because Kansas City in the middle of January is awful anyways, but you'd rather have your home fans. So I'm going Kansas City in that game.
Yeah, I'm going Kansas City too, and I think it'd be dumb to take anybody but Kansas City here. My problem with the Broncos is exactly what you said, inconsistent quarterback play. I mean, let's just sit here for a second before we go to the next game and say, if you can picture the Broncos, I'm not going to sit here and say they remind me of DC in a way, but think about this, okay? Good defense, they both have. Decent running game, they both have. And they both have decent wide receivers. I mean, DC has one really good one, and they don't really know if Curtis Samuel was worth it or not.
Right.
They have two really good wide receivers and a great tight end in Denver. I mean, if you're a Russell Wilson type quarterback, I know you're not a huge fan, or you're an Aaron Rodgers type player, or you're Deshaun Watson, you get cleared. Like, this is a destination of a team that has a lot of good pieces, but inconsistent quarterback play. I mean, I'm sorry, if they have a decent draft position, this is the team you want to go to. They're built one piece away. I mean, maybe not from a Super Bowl, but I'm saying this is a playoff team with a better quarterback.
This team can't go with a rookie quarterback.
I don't think so either. I think
they have to get a veteran. They like the people you've named. Kirk Cousins.
Will Kirk Cousins win a playoff game with this team?
I mean, Kirk Cousins won a playoff game in Minnesota.
That's what I'm saying.
He was a game away from the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying.
Garoppolo
would win a playoff game here. Deshaun Watson,
But my thing is I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
This is a destination but how much would they have to give up? Now they are young enough in certain areas to make it work.
A 2-year deal, fully guaranteed, $25 million.
Yes, as far as I'm concerned, anybody who's anybody, if you don't want to play there, then you're just scared of Mahomes.
Yeah, like I'm saying, like you have Derek Carr, not afraid of Mahomes. You have. I mean, honestly, Justin Herbert, and if you add yourself one of these top free agent quarterbacks, that's a quarterback division over there.
But I don't think Carr's going to be a Raider next year, do you?
But again, if you're Derek Carr, and I know it's the same division, the Broncos come calling in free agency.
Oh, yeah, I go.
100%.
But it's that.
I got the Chiefs, by the way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And now that is Saturday. Cowboys-Eagles are Saturday.
Yep.
And Eagles got hit hard by COVID.
Yeah.
I think it's 12 players now are out or going to be questionable. And this one here, Dallas beats bad teams. Yeah. Dallas struggles against good teams.
Yeah. We beat a couple good teams, but in general, you're right.
I don't. You've beaten them, but you haven't looked good doing it. Where when you were on that stretch, you really put it to, which you're supposed to, which Bengals don't do it.
Yeah.
A lot of teams played down to their level. This last game against the Cardinals scared me. Because where were you for 3 quarters? And then all of a sudden you turned it on when you were desperate.
Yeah.
And it showed, but you still played really, really well. And your defense is just...
This has been the tale of Dallas. When we have a good defense, our offense doesn't show up. When we've had good offenses, our defense has let us down. We can't get both at the same time, and I don't understand why.
And I have the Cowboys winning this game just because I still... Like the Eagles they don't show up early. And Dallas doesn't show up early, but they show up late. And the Eagles show up late. Yeah. But if Dallas gets punched in the mouth, it takes them a little while to come back. And the Eagles aren't that team. Yeah. I don't think they have a good enough offensive line to keep Dallas's players off of them. And, Dallas's back 7 isn't fantastic, but your front 4 is amazing. Yeah. And so I've got Dallas winning this game. And again, I said it, I don't know if we said it on the show or if we've said it or if I've said it just to you. This is a team, if they figure it out, I do not want to play.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is I just don't think Elliott has enough gas in the tank. And they don't believe Pollard is in the tackle, a bell cow back where he can run through the tackles.
They're just not seeing
and everything like that. And so I got Dallas winning this game.
So I'm not confident in this pick. I'm going to say Dallas first, obviously. They're the better team than the Eagles. But here's my thing. Dallas doesn't beat good teams, but there is teams we've beaten that are good. We got, I'm going to go through a list real quick. We lost the Broncos, bad loss. We lost the Chargers, bad loss. I get it. We were competitive up till the end in the Buccaneers game. We beat the Patriots, who was a playoff team and still is. I mean, a few weeks ago, the Patriots were the hottest team in the league, and our win meant something. And now people are like, well, it doesn't really mean anything. They're not good now. But we beat them at the time, and yes, it wasn't a good win. But then again, Chiefs and Bengals, is that a good win? It was a close game, just like ours was. It was a shootout. You got to win those games. We beat the Eagles when they were a playoff team. We beat DC the first time when they were borderline a wild card team. So we have wins against teams that don't have 10 wins, but here's the thing with Dallas. We also haven't played teams like the Jets and Jags. We haven't gotten the opportunity to beat up on Houston. We don't get those lower teams because our whole division has been really good. Now, other than the Giants. Oh, sorry, I hit my thing again. But here's where I wanted to say. I'm going to read this. I wrote some things down just because I want to say it, and I told you in the group chat that I wanted to wait till the podcast because I've actually really digested some things.
Okay.
And I'm actually a little bit pissed off at my team. I think Dallas has the most predictable offense in the league. The most predictable. I mean, We're talking first snap, teams know what we're doing. That's a problem. We lead the league in penalties. That can't happen.
Mm-hmm.
We lead the league in third down penalties on both offense and defensive holding. Third down pass interference calls. Third down offensive holding, which we're 3rd and 3 going for it with a run. We get it. It's a 10-yard penalty. We're back, and then we throw an interception.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot run the ball. That is a problem. We've talked about this for years. I've agreed. And yes, I've made jokes how much I love seeing Dak throw the ball. Don't get me wrong. Dak is a very good quarterback, and I'm glad to have him. But he's not a 450-yard Aaron Rodgers quarterback. That's not what he's built like. He's a really good game manager, and that's not a bad thing to say. He's not the quarterback that loses you games unless the rest of the team is failing. Then every single time the ball's in his hand, he makes a bad decision. That's not a good thing. When we can't run the ball, every team's playing cover 2 and 3, which makes our pass catchers not be able to catch the ball. Amari Cooper's been lazy, and Zeke has been nowhere to be found. The offensive line has been healthy for 12 of our games this year, all 5. We had 50 yards rushing last week. 50. Dak had 26 rushing yards on 5 attempts. Zeke and Pollard had 24 together out of 18 attempts. Something's broken, and this is what I was going to say. Dak has 3 TDs, leads the team, and once again, it's still something wrong with his fault. Amari Cooper doesn't run and misses a catch because he stopped running the route. The team, to me, feels lazy. Very lazy. Like there's no drive behind them. Like the Bengals' energy, I want that energy, and where is it at? Like I said, 50 total rushing yards. We're averaging less than 75 yards a game. That's not good. Even with our line healthy, you can't win games like that because you don't have a 500-yard quarterback.
I think you were averaging 160 to begin the season.
Weren't you? So this is my next question. Our defense is so good they can make plays, but when they're on the field 80% of the time, how are you going to win games?
Right.
They were gassed by the fourth quarter. There's nothing they could do. And let's not be clear. It's not like the Cardinals played that great.
No.
They didn't. Both defenses showed up. And the Cardinals have the number 3 defense in the league. So it is a hard game.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my thing. My last point to this is I think Kellen Moore might be the problem. And it's hard to say. I think he's too one-dimensional from where he started. I don't know if they want to make Dak look like an MVP. What's wrong with Zeke? I know they think Zeke is hurt. I get it. Something's got to change. You can't do what Dallas is doing right now and win in the playoffs. They're too inconsistent. And then I had a friend was like, "Well, you're still the same record as the Buccaneers. You have the same record as the Cardinals." Yeah, but I don't feel like we're in the same division as them. I don't feel like we're in the same league. This team just doesn't show up for me. And this is my last point. I actually kind of hope Kellen gets the job in Jacksonville. I think a new coordinator who can utilize the quarterback we have and not be so pass heavy can help. Honestly, somebody like Garrett is not a bad idea. I think he's too one-dimensional too. But what happened to the run game? What happened to Pollard? What happened to having Dak with 230 yards a game and 150 yards rushing when we were literally unstoppable on offense, but our defense was 30th in the league? We need last year's team before Dak got hurt. Now we have the defense. But I will say I still don't believe Zeke is washed or Dak. I just think something schematically is broken, and it's either Kellen Moore or McCarthy. I'm just going to say that. I wrote all this down because something just is bothering me, and I know both of our teams have the same record. I think we actually have one more win than you guys do.
I think.
I think
we're 10-6. I think you're 11-5.
And I'm still not confident. I'm more confident in the Bengals, and that's sad. And I don't know what it is. I just feel like McCarthy's going to let us down. And again, I've been looking at all the things. It's just not a problem our quarterback is making. Yes, he makes mistakes. I'm not here to defend him. But when you can't run the ball, you can't set up play action, which you've said it best. Where does Dak thrive? Just like Russell does, in play action and moving out of the pocket. Nothing's happening. The offense is stale. We ran 3 straight screenplays. What is happening? I just think something's wrong, and I want Dallas to win this game, but I want them to figure out what's going on, and if they can't, get a coordinator in there next year that can actually utilize Dak the way he is. Because not every coordinator is the same. I got Dallas winning this game, but I just want to go on my little rant there before we move on.
I mean, to rebuttal what you said, I don't disagree with Moore's got to go.
I don't think he has to go. If he goes, I'd welcome it.
Your head coach is the reason why you are stale, not stale, where you have no energy.
I agree with that.
Have no,
the penalties.
The penalties. You're not disciplined, and you got you can bring in a new coordinator all you want, but when you have a head coach that doesn't coach Tuesday through Saturday, it shows on Sunday.
But the thing that bothers me is I don't know if it's McCarthy, but I know that Kellen Moore is the one calling every play. He's calling plays, so I'm like, who started the original playbook? Is this McCarthy's playbook Kellen Moore's running? Because something's just not adding up. That's all it is. I don't know who it is.
I told you many, many, many weeks ago.
And we looked great when Dan Quinn ran that game against the Falcons. Let's be clear.
Yeah, but I told you many weeks ago, McCarthy's going to cost you the Super Bowl. Yeah. And I am standing by that statement. I
didn't disagree with you at the time.
I'm not saying any of your players are washed up. I'm not saying any of your players are playing hurt. McCarthy is the reason why you have lazy energy.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the Bengals and their energy and everything like that. Like, I watched their game, like all the highlights and all that stuff, and obviously you see the big highlights. But the last few weeks, this team turned a corner in the way that they said, you know what? We don't think we can be stopped.
Yeah.
And we're going to put our foot down, and we're going to go. And that's what you don't see in Dallas.
That's what I'm saying. What happened to that?
Right.
Was it because – and I'm being a real fan here. I'll go another few seconds, and we need to move on. But I'm being a real fan here. Am I saying that because we were playing cupcake teams? I mean, we had the Patriots in there. We had the Buccaneers. We looked great against these teams. Yes, our defense didn't do well against the Patriots, but let's be clear. Like, we were doing so well. We were the hottest team in the league. People are like, well, you're 11-5. You're only 2 wins off the best team in the league. But it's not a good 11-5. I don't feel confident in this team. And I know we've mentioned Mike McCarthy. I agree with you. I think he was a good signing at the time because I think he is going to get us farther. But Garrett wouldn't have lost us a playoff game. Other players would have. I think McCarthy literally will lose us a game because of his tendencies, his penalties. This team is so undisciplined. We lead the league in pass interference calls on defense. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
So I just want to see something change. Cowboys need to win this game. Make a statement. Make a statement. I mean, to take them to the tool shed like you did DC a few weeks ago.
All right.
And we'll go on from there.
First game Sunday, Bengals-Browns.
Yep.
Baker's not playing. I think that's a good thing for the Browns.
You said he's getting surgery, but I wonder if they're just.
They said he's having season-ending surgery. He got destroyed a couple times.
TJ Watt ate him alive. Defensive player of the year. Defensive player of the year for sure. TJ Watt, 20 sacks.
Is he leading the league yet?
Yeah. Oh, he's only a half sack away from the record, which is TJ Watt. JJ Watt.
Here's the thing. Right? I'm when it comes to records. So I'm gonna say this: Jamar Chase breaking the rookie record for yards. That is legit because he did it in 16 games.
Yeah.
Anybody that breaks a record in 17 games, you still get the record, but it's got to be...
TJ Watt missed 3 games, though.
Still, it's a 17-game season.
I know.
Strahan, I don't know if but Strahan should have an asterisk next to his name, too.
I also think there's a
I really think Brett Favre tanked it there at the end.
There's also a misconstrued stat, too, when it comes to records, and we'll say it real quick before you make your pick. Disruptiveness. Like TJ Watt leads the league in sacks, but how's he do in just regular tackles? Or how's he do in tackles out in the open? Is it just sacks? Because if so, that's a dead stat column. That's your only good stat. It's like DK Metcalf gets 1,000 yards, but 80% of his yards are on deep routes, which has happened. Oh, you dropped your pen.
So I'm going to say something that's probably not a popular opinion here. I play my starters this week. If I'm the Bengals, I play my starters.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Well, the thing is if you bench Burrow, you're benching him just to bench him, not to give him rest. He's fine. He banged his knee on the turf, and
I was gonna say,
and
is he okay now?
Yeah, he's perfectly fine.
Okay. I wasn't sure. It didn't look good.
It's I play my starters. We've never been here. Like, this team's never been here. You have to keep the momentum going. You have to do it. And I say this: if you're up big at halftime, okay, sit.
If you're up a score or two, but this is my thing: Rodgers, Brady, possibly Russell. I know he's kind of not doing the best right now. And who else am I missing? Older guys. I'm missing another quarterback, but whoever they are.
That's really it.
I'm sorry, not older. Mahomes. We'll use him for example. These are the only quarterbacks that should sit in week 17, 18 if you want them to, because I don't think them sitting a week will disrupt them. But someone like Burrow, Dak, these guys that are a little bit younger, and this is kind of new to them being this good, sitting out week 18 can really impact your first wildcard game for sure.
Yeah.
I think Burrow needs to play every minute of this game unless you're leading by 2 or 3 scores at the half. Because you don't want to ruin that momentum.
I play Mixon, I play Chase, I play Higgins, I play Boyd, I play the whole defense. I play everybody.
I would say if you wanted to keep Burrow in a little longer, any kind of that scenario, I still think if you have a score or 2 lead at halftime, Chase and Mixon should come out before anybody else.
I say Burrow comes out first. Burrow and Mixon, just because of what you can say is injury history.
Yeah.
But I have the Bengals winning this game, even if they play the backup.
I do too.
I have the Bengals winning this game. The thing is I want to see that momentum carry on. And it was a funny stat that I saw the other day, and obviously I follow a lot of Bengals sites, but it was a LSU Joe Burrow in his last 2 games, in his last 2 games that the Bengals have played. And this man is unbelievable in January. Unbelievable in January. Like, it's funny because the reason why I take him over Herbert every day of the week, and this is a debate that we will probably have for as long as we know each other, is that just cold-bloodedness. Like, that is something you can't create.
Yeah.
That is something you can't fake. That is something that not every single player has it. Yeah. Very few. I'm going to say this. Peyton Manning, Brady, Rodgers had it. And they demanded that their players have it too. Other players are just damn good.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers was just damn good. He was talented, but he didn't demand his players to be great.
I know stats don't really mean anything, right? We always say that. But like I said, I like Joe Burrow. I have nothing against Joe Burrow. I just like Herbert because I was the only one that was there debating him when everybody thought he was going to be really bad. So I'd like, but I'll be real. Like, Joe Burrow is the better quarterback right now. He's being the better quarterback, but they're only 300 yards apart and 5 TDs away from each other. And Herbert has less interceptions. So
I think it's only by 1 or 2.
It's 1 or 2 now.
Yeah.
It was a lot farther a few weeks ago. Burrow has been on another level. And I always tell people, these 2 quarterbacks are ridiculous.
Yes.
Ridiculous. And I always like to make a joke. I know he has 2, but if you can get the offense of the Chargers at the same rhythm the Bengals are playing at, these 2 teams are nuts. They both have really good quarterbacks. And we did this a year ago. I think that Justin Herbert is going to have a lot of yards, a lot of numbers. Phillip Rivers, maybe a bowl win. But I think you have Super Bowl win. A Super Bowl win. But I think you have Burrow has that I don't want to say Brady-esque. That's not really right. Like the Peyton Manning-esque, because I don't really see Burrow winning 7 Super Bowl titles. But I could see this being a dynasty, whereas I don't see the Chargers being the same dynasty the Bengals is going to. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So are we ever going to see 7 or 8 Super Bowls won by a quarterback ever again?
No.
Okay. So I think like Rex Ryan said it best, and he said, I see a lot of Brady in Burrow.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm not talking about 7 Super Bowls. He goes, I'm talking about that guy that is sitting on the sidelines that if he is out there with the game on the line, they are going to win. And he said, that is what I see in him. And that is what, why I said you take him over this guy and stuff. But the Browns are broken.
Yeah.
And that's surprising to say because I think we both picked them to win the North. I know I did.
Remember, but you could be right.
I think I picked Pittsburgh to finish last, the Ravens to finish second, the Bengals to finish third, and
I think we were
Browns,
switched. Yep, I think I picked Bengals third, Pittsburgh fourth. I think I had the Ravens winning, Browns second.
Okay,
I think that might have been what it was.
I had them winning 10 or 11 games.
Yeah.
The Browns,
Yeah.
they're broken. Their best quality is their running game.
Yeah.
And they don't run the ball.
Yeah.
That's coaching. That's not Baker Mayfield's fault. That's coaching. They don't have talent on the outside. They have a great defense, but that defense being on the field, like you said, 80% of the game,
you're not winning
games.
Yep.
I think if the Bengals play their starters, this is a blowout. The Bengals, this is their worst loss of the season, was to the Browns. And you have to come out and you have to avenge that.
This would be a bad loss right before they move into the playoffs. I got the Bengals winning this game because they're the better team.
Yep.
What we got next?
Packers, Lions.
Okay, I do have a question.
Yep.
Are the Packers only a 2-point favorite because Aaron Rodgers is sitting?
I think Devontae Adams is sitting. I think
Okay.
Aaron Jones is sitting. I don't think you're going to see very many people.
You think the Lions win?
This is my upset of the week. This is the Lions.
I almost did. When I made this, I wasn't sure if Rodgers was sitting. I didn't read that he was 100% sitting. If he sits, Lions are going to win this game. But I picked the Packers, by the way. I want to keep real to what I circled before we went on air.
Okay. I mean, you can change it. I mean, it wasn't like just because you circled it doesn't mean that it's official.
Well, if Rodgers isn't playing and it's confirmed, I have the Lions. I'll pick the Lions 100 times of the day, even if, Jared Goff may not play still, so it's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, why not Lions? This is not my upset of the week, but
okay. All right, Bears Vikings.
Ooh.
Fuck the Vikings. Again, the one time I didn't say it and I picked them, they lost to the Lions. So the Bears win this game. The Vikings are firing their coaching staff. The Vikings are starting fresh. They're getting rid of Kirk Cousins. And the Bears are too, but the Bears, there's more players on the Bears playing for a spot than there are Vikings playing for a spot.
So I'm going to give you a hypothetical here before I make my pick. Use like a Madden reference, or let's just pretend you came into a crap ton of money and you are now the owner of DC, the football team, whatever team name they're going to pick on February 2nd. Do you take your 10th, 12th pick after a quarterback, or do you bring Kirky back? Do you think you are a 10-win team with Kirk Cousins to beat Dallas and Eagles? You think that team, I'm not saying they would, but would you bring Kirk Cousins back on a 2-year deal? You need a quarterback, and that's where you think your issue is.
You'd have to. Here's the thing: Kirk Cousins would make you pay him an exorbitant amount of money.
Yep.
Because of just how spiteful he is, I think, towards the franchise.
Yep. I know it was kind of a bad divorce, but I'm just.
No, I don't.
No,
I don't.
I mean, the price.
Heineke's proven he can't start 18, 17 games.
No.
He's not a 17. He's not a starting quarterback in this league.
Very few are, but
He makes too many mistakes. He has these streaks where he's 11 out of 13, 100 and something yards, and then he has those bonehead decisions.
Where he's on the field on his back, and it wasn't even that he got sacked off a bad offensive line. He just got hit because he made a bad decision.
If I'm the Redskins, I sell out on a different type of quarterback.
Yeah.
I sell out on a Watson. I sell out on a Wilson.
Yeah.
I would even rather have a Derek Carr or a Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah. The reason I ask is just I didn't know how their divorce was, but it's an interesting topic because people what about free agency? I'm like, there's really going to be a lot of free agency quarterbacks. If Watson's name is still cleared, that's another name to add too, that he is very valuable in this league.
But who's going to pay that price?
Depends.
Right. And that's the thing. But I go after somebody else before I go after Kirk Cousins. Yeah. No, I do. You put Kirk Cousins' blind stats up against anybody's.
You'll pick his every time.
You can't, even if you put him up against Rodgers, they wouldn't be as good, but I think you'd be surprised at how close they are.
I think him and Rodgers are probably the least amount of interceptions in the league.
And just Zimmer's gone. He's gone. He's not going to be coaching there next year. If I'm a team, though, I sign him as a head coach. I don't think he's a bad head coach. I think he's
if he gets a head coaching job, I'll take him as my OC, though.
I just... no, I don't. If I'm Kirk Cousins, I don't. If I'm Washington, I don't go back to.
Okay.
I don't go back.
I have the Vikings winning this game, by the way.
Okay.
I think they're better than the Bears. And I think they have a little bit to play for. I think they're pretty healthy. I don't think they were very healthy with COVID last week, so I think they're healthy.
All right.
What do we get next?
Washington Giants.
Ooh.
Washington will finish the season with 7 wins, and this is the win. This gets them to 7. They don't regress in wins. They just unfortunately played an extra game and they had an extra loss. So they finished with the same record they finished with last year, except this time they don't go to the playoffs. 7-10 because they lost to Tampa Bay, so they finished at 7-10. But Washington wins this game. I don't know how they win this game, but the Giants are just that bad.
I have Washington winning this game, and surprisingly, I wanted to be bold here. This is my lock of the week.
Really?
Yeah. I had a lot of other opportunities, but I've been hard on DC. This is my lock of the week, so don't let me down, please.
All right.
The Giants are that bad, and I think Washington is too. Even though Washington's been kicked through and have their dick kicked in the mud, trust me, I still think they have talent, and I still think they have a little bit of heart to play for. I really do, even though they have nothing technically to play for. They have a huge offseason coming up, and, the team still has some sort of energy, even if the organization doesn't. So,
right. I know Nate's chomping at the bit.
Yep.
I want to get him on and ask him exactly what he wants to see this team do in the offseason.
Yeah.
I'd even like to get Logan's take on it, not to spend a whole episode talking about it because both our teams are in the playoffs, so sorry, guys. And, but at the same time, I want to see what these guys want to do. And I'm dying, and I've said this before. The pastor at the church is his name's Sam. I hope he doesn't mind that I use his name on the air. I mean, we only have a few listeners, so
I don't think he'll mind.
I still want him to start listening, but I want to get his take on what he wants to see the Eagles do in the offseason. The Eagles have 3 first-round picks. Carson Wentz didn't get benched. They made the play. Even if the Colts don't make the playoffs by some chance, he still played 75% of the snaps, and this is something the Eagles have now 3 first-round picks. I don't care if they're late first-round picks. They're still 3 first-round picks that you can trade 2 of them to move up. You could trade 3 of them and get the number 1 pick. That's what you're looking at. Because
draft day scenario here.
But the thing is there's not that player in this draft. You know what I mean? I think there's quality in this draft, but there's not that number 1.
Yeah, I don't think
there's not the Trevor Lawrence. There's not the Burrow, Herbert.
I think if you get Hutchinson or Thibodeau, I think it's a very stacked player. But this is not the Myles Garrett. This is not the Jadeveon Clowney. This is not the Aaron Donald type draft. This is if they have 3 first-round picks, this is you load up on really decent players. And when I say decent players, I'm talking 2 or 3 Pro Bowls in their career. These are not.
Do you trade them for future picks? If you win this week, you're a 10-7 team.
No, you don't trade for future picks. You trade for your team now. You trade for starting week 1 guys. Not trade. I'm sorry.
That's why I'm asking.
You draft a wide receiver. You find a top running back, and you find a defensive end or something crazy. You get this team ready for a playoff team because you think this is your division over Dallas next year. If you're the Eagles, but if you lose this game and you're like, hey, let's make this a 5-year thing. This could be a let's get another Super Bowl in 2-year type thing. This was a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't think this is a very quality-filled draft. That's just me. But I do think there's a lot of really good filler type players.
Okay.
What I mean is they are going to be really good starters. They are going to do their job. They're going to be Randy Gregory-esque type players. They're going to do good, but they're not going to be like $40 million corners. There's no $50 million defensive lineman here. I just don't see that.
Okay.
Even the quarterback position, I don't see it.
All right.
Go ahead.
Colts Jaguars. Do you see a scenario that the Colts still do not beat the Jaguars in Jacksonville?
No, I don't see it.
Okay.
Jaguars are going to win this game. I'm sorry, Colts.
Okay.
I was saying the Jaguars have shown, even though they've lost, they've shown a little bit of heart with this new coach, but they don't know who their coach is. And I'm serious, and I've said this all year. Mac Jones has been that dude. But I still would love to see what Trevor Lawrence gets with a good coaching staff and some weapons around him. And again, I'm not saying Lawrence would do better than Mac Jones. I'm not saying that. But I'd love to see a Lawrence in a similar situation.
You've wasted this kid's first year.
And that's the thing. Just say it slowly. How the great opportunity that Burrow and Herbert got. Lawrence is that guy. I don't think he's Ryan Leaf. I don't. But I don't think he's Johnny Manziel. I don't think.
Herbert got a better deal than Burrow.
Yeah.
Chargers were a much better team
They were last year than they are this year. The Bengals are better this year.
Yeah, the Bengals drafted very well and signed very good free agents. And did very well to help build a team around Burrow. But
other than Keenan Allen, they don't have a tight end. Their second wide receiver.
Well, they had Hunter Henry.
Last year. I'm talking about this year.
Oh, this year,
I'm saying
yeah.
you guys have 3 top 20 wide receivers, and you have a really good running back. And that's not an excuse, but I'm saying just someone like Trevor Lawrence in a situation like a New England, or if he was somehow on a team like Denver or something like that, like this dude can ball, and he's really being hindered at the team he's on. And I'm afraid he's going to end up being a Manziel washed away because people are like, oh, he's not that good. Urban Meyer ruined this kid's first year.
Yeah.
And I really am telling you, he's a 4,000-yard passer at least.
Yes.
And he can run. He's got the arm of a Rivers, and he's got the legs of a running quarterback. Like, I don't understand what's happening there. Could I see a scenario they win? Yeah, but Jonathan Taylor's going to have 200 yards rushing on him.
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
that's my hot take.
I have the Colts winning this game,
I do too.
So,
I have the Colts.
But it was just interesting because I had no idea the Colts hadn't beaten them in Jacksonville since 2014. That's just very interesting. Think about how many one-win seasons Jacksonville has had since 2014, and that win is against the Colts at home.
I will tell you that is one of those interesting stats that's dead. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It's not like a curse or anything.
It means something if they lose this week.
Exactly.
You
People
know.
like, well, they're like, well, DC is, 15-1 against Dallas with less than 2 minutes left. It's like one of those things. Like, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But it is interesting to me that the Jaguars have beaten this team, but this Colts team is
It matters if Jacksonville knocks them out of the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm
saying going into this game, it doesn't matter.
So, next game, Steelers-Ravens. Technically has an outside chance to be a playoff game.
The Steelers are closer to getting in than the Ravens, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Ravens have to win with a lot of help. Steelers have to win with just a couple help.
I believe what I was reading today is the Browns have to lose again, which I was reading today. Browns have to lose, the Colts have to lose, and Ravens have to win.
And
something else has to happen.
I think
the
Raiders have to lose.
That's it. The Raiders have to lose.
Because Jesus.
Drop my phone. These new mics are a little ridiculous, guys.
I just think the Steelers find a way again to win. Ben's last game.
Yeah.
It's at the Ravens. This division wants to send a message to the Ravens. You know what? You got some work to do, friends.
Yeah.
You're not that good. And I got the Steelers winning this game.
I picked the Steelers too, and it's not because I think the Ravens, they need help, and I'm not picking this because, we are anti-Raven people here. We do like to say that, and I'll pick them when I'm feeling honest. Again, the Ravens don't remind me of the Bengals. They don't remind me of the Bills. They don't remind me of Dallas or Arizona. They just don't remind me of a team that's hot every week. And honestly, at 8-8, they don't deserve to be in the playoffs. Let's be clear. The Steelers don't either. But I think the Steelers, like you said, the energy of Big Ben. Big Ben loves playing in Baltimore. He does very well there. I think this is a game the Steelers win. It's close. It's ugly. I just don't think it's going to be a very good game.
Okay.
The Steelers find a way to win, and Big Ben gets his final win, and he walks off in the sunset, hopefully to never play again.
Oh, he's not.
I know. He's done.
So, 8 and 9. You know what's funny is if Cleveland ends up beating Cincinnati and Baltimore loses, Baltimore finishes last in the division.
Mm-hmm.
That's just funny to me, considering everybody was like, they were playoffs. And, this team started 8-3.
Mm-hmm.
Like 8-3. They're 8-8 right now.
I know.
So it's just fun to watch. Titans, Texans. I was watching NFL Network today, and something scary popped up. A.J. Brown's 100% healthy. Julio Jones, 100% healthy. Derrick Henry practicing. That's scary.
Yeah.
Because this team, without Derrick Henry, figured out a way to win 11 games and go 11-5. Everybody said they were done. And, they played games without A.J. Brown, without Julio Jones, and without Derrick Henry, all at the same time. And they just found ways to win and persevere and go. I'm not saying Derrick Henry's playing this week. I don't think he should play this week.
No,
even
no
if
way.
he,
No chance.
At the same time, he's got 3 weeks before he has to play a game in order to be 100% healthy. And that's scary to me.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown and Julio Jones, everybody was saying was going to be the best wide receiver tandem in the NFL this year. Hasn't even come close. But they're still dangerous.
Yep.
And I've got Tennessee winning this game. It's my lock of the week. I'm going weak on my lock of the week. I'm not going to take any chances like picking Washington or anything like that. But
I just felt like it.
The Titans it's a team you don't want to play.
No.
And you're going to have to go through Tennessee.
Yep.
You're going to have to go through Tennessee. And my dream is the Texans beat the Titans and the Broncos beat the Chiefs and the Bengals beat the Browns and the Bengals get the number 1 seed. That's my dream because I would love to have a week off. But at the same time, the way we're playing right now,
no, you don't want it.
You don't want a week off.
You don't want it.
But the Titans are a scary team right now.
The Titans need a week off. They need another week.
Yes.
For Henry.
Yes. Henry, Jones, and Brown.
Yeah.
Like but those guys, Titans win.
I have the Titans winning this game too. I don't see a scenario the Texans win. I do like Davis Mills. I think he's got good poise. I was going to say that last week. It's really funny. I was actually watching the game, and Logan beat me to it by about 10 minutes. I saw him post. I was like, damn it. I was just thinking about that. But like my kid, I forgot to say, like, Davis Mills seems like if you are the Texans and you think you're 4 or 5 years away from being really relevant,
you can roll with him.
Roll with him for a year or two more, bring in some pieces, get some picks. You really don't have any, but that kind of scenario.
But I mean, you hope that you can get rid of Watson for the 2-3 first-round picks that you want.
It might be less now, but even if you get one, you get two, one this year, one next year, that's a win. That's a win. Next game, we have the Saints and the Falcons.
Yes. Saints are going for the playoffs.
Yeah.
That is surprising.
With no quarterback.
No quarterback whatsoever. No business being here. And they're going to lose.
Yep.
I got the Falcons winning this game. No reason why other than I hate the Saints. I really do. I don't like Taysom Hill. I don't like their rookie quarterback. I don't like Alvin Kamara. I don't like Sean Payton.
Is this your Seahawks 2.0?
No, not that much hate. Like I have a major dislike for the love Russell Wilson gets. Everybody knows that because I do not think Russell Wilson is a top 5 quarterback in the league. I do not. I think he's the reason why you are a mediocre team and why you don't win playoff games. And that's,
I'm not disagreeing.
But at the same time, you do disagree because you do say he's a top 5 quarterback.
I didn't say he was a top 5 when we talked last. I just don't hate him as much as you do. I said he was top 7, 8 in the league. Not this year, but I think if you put them all on paper, took their teams away, and you had to pick someone in the top 10, he's a top 7, 6 quarterback in the league.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
If you're Denver.
Yes.
And they call you and they say, hey, Matt Ryan's on the block for a high second, low first. Do you give up a low first or a high second for Matt Ryan?
Yeah.
Really?
No, I wouldn't give up my first round pick. Unless they really think they're right there. You got a tough division. I would say I'd give you my second this year and it's like a second this year and a third next year and another fifth or something. I mean, late round picks are fine. You have money in free agency. I think they have like 30 or 40 million or something they can free up. Matt Ryan probably wouldn't be 35 million to go there. But if I'm Matt Ryan and you can get him for 15, 20, 25 million over Deshaun Watson's 40 or not Matthew Stafford, Kirk Cousins 30 probably, or Russell Wilson 35, I would take Matt Ryan in a heartbeat. If I'm DC, that's a call I'm looking at too. No offense. I'm serious. I mean, a lot cheaper than other options, and you think you're close.
Yeah.
Again.
Yep.
So.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't pick mine. I have the Falcons winning this game. Okay. I hope the Saints win and somehow we get to play them in the first round because I'm not trying to be that person. Nobody goes to the playoffs going, I want to play the Buccaneers. I want to play the Green. I don't want to play either one of them teams. I want another game, but I also don't want to play the Cards and Eagles. Like, I'd love to see the Saints. I'd love to see the Vikings in the first round. That'd be a great little, I'm not saying a win, but a good little team that we've played really hard. So I got the Falcons.
Did you beat the Vikings this year? Or did you not play them? You didn't play them?
We didn't play the NFC North.
Okay. Jets, Bills.
Bills? I mean, Jets look good against the Bucs. Let's not be.
If the Bills sit players,
Jets win.
You think the Jets would win? All right. Surprising. Singletary.
Yeah.
Has really come on lately.
Yep.
They're really giving him the ball, and he's really proven that he deserves to be number one back on a team like Buffalo.
Another quick question. I will say I have the Bills. I know I make fun. You know, my Cowboys lost to Arizona. Let's be clear. Rams almost lost to the Ravens, but the Jets almost beat Tom Brady.
Yep.
With the Buccaneers. So it's crazy to think that any Sunday can happen. I mean, Zach Wilson is coming into the second best quarterback of this draft right now. His stats aren't that terrible. He's really been playing pretty well last few weeks.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've had a lot of injuries and COVID issues, but I got the Bills winning this game. We got a big game up next.
Yeah.
You're looking at something.
Well, I got the Bills. I was just going to say Singletary. He helped me win a fantasy league.
I know.
He helped. He really did. Like, it was surprising because I had to choose between him and somebody else in the last couple of weeks, and he's really come on. And he had 110 yards and 2 touchdowns last week, which helped the Bills win that game. Which is they beat Atlanta, which it was a close game. And he really came along and said, it's give me the ball. And I think that's important for Buffalo because if Buffalo can figure out a run game, that's going to be a scary team.
Yep.
This is probably the most important game of the week.
I think there's another one, but yes.
Oh, well, Chargers-Raiders.
I think that's the other one.
So this is the most important NFC game of the week.
NFC game.
You've got 49ers at the Rams. Surprising stat, I think I said, is Shanahan's never lost to McVay. Trey Lance played very well once they figured out what plays would work for him. I think as the offensive mind that Shanahan is, I think if Garoppolo's not going to play, you can really tweak that and really prepare more. Elijah Mitchell, did I get that name right? He's back, and he rushed for over 100 yards again. He's a very good rookie, probably top 5 rookie in this draft, which is saying something for somebody that wasn't drafted in the first round.
He's last year's James Robinson.
Okay, was he an undrafted free agent, or was he drafted late? I think he was drafted late.
Elijah Mitchell?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like a 5th-round pick, I'm saying. But I'm using it.
As far as, I agree. And I think the 49ers found gold in him. And the 49ers need this game.
Yeah,
they need it. They can't lose and hope that the Atlanta beats New Orleans. I do have the 49ers winning this game. It's more important to the 49ers than it is the Rams. Stafford has not looked good 2 weeks in a row. They've won both games. Don't get me wrong. Winning is the most important, but I think he has 5 or 6 interceptions in the last 2 games. I got the 49ers winning this game.
I have the 49ers too, surprisingly. This is my upset of the week.
Okay.
The Rams are home favorite. I think it's 3 points, so it's not really – they have the better record here. I got the 49ers winning with Trey Lance. They've been playing good. I know we made the joke earlier when I want to play them and we got all flustered because I was confused on the question. But 49ers are good. They're a really good team. To me, they remind me they have the same record, but they're very similar to the Eagles. They have moments where you don't want to play them. But the 49ers have also had moments in the last few weeks. You're like, that's why they're not in the playoffs. They have those moments. 49ers win this game. I got an upset because I don't think the Rams are as in it 100%. They know they can't get the Green Bay seed right now, so there's nothing they can do about it.
Right. But if they win the division.
Exactly.
It is the division. It is an important game for them.
They can lose if the Cardinals still lose.
Yeah.
That's
so it's
we haven't gotten to the Cardinals yet, have we?
Nope. Patriots Dolphins is next. Dolphins would love nothing more than to beat the Patriots and knock them out of the 5th seed. And down to like the 6th, 7th seed. Not going to happen.
No.
Bill Belichick will figure out how to handle this mediocre offense. And I say it's mediocre. If you look at how the Dolphins were winning all these games, it was the same way they were winning the games last year. Turnovers on defense, getting them a good field position, and then taking advantage of it. Patriots aren't going to turn the ball over like that in this game. Mac Jones is going to play. He's got to play. Damian Harris has to play. Stevenson has to play. The Patriots don't have anybody that you want to say, oh, yeah, we can sit them right now because it's okay. No, you don't have that kind of squad. You're playing everybody. Patriots win this game.
I got the Patriots winning this game too. I think the Dolphins' really, really intriguing strides over the last few months is going to come to an end this week. The Patriots are the better team. Mac Jones is, unfortunately, and not in a mean way, the better quarterback. He's better than Tua. He is that guy. He's got a killer instinct, and I'm really glad he stayed healthy the whole season because he's really, really good. His season reminds me a lot of what Burrow could have been if he stayed healthy the whole season. Patriots, I mean, obviously Mac Jones doesn't turn the ball over. I'm not saying Burrow does. I'm just saying he's a really good quarterback, and these are the moments he needs to win these games because as a rookie quarterback, you can move into 11-6. You can move into having a really good playoff. I mean, you have the chance to win playoff games as a rookie quarterback. Doesn't happen very often. So this is a big game for them. I got the Patriots winning easily.
Okay. Next one is Seahawks-Cardinals.
Cardinals?
Yeah, I got the Cardinals.
Yeah. It's not that I don't think Russell can do it. I just don't think they have the firepower. I don't think they have the defense to stop this. And again, I still don't think the Cardinals are that special. I don't think Dallas is either, guys. Just trust me.
Cardinals, something's not.
And even with Hopkins, when he was healthy, they weren't.
Something's not right on offense.
I don't know.
It didn't look
even against
fluid.
us. It didn't.
No, it didn't look fluid, and I still think they're better than the Seahawks.
Oh, of course.
And this is the type of game that Kyler Murray has to win.
Mm-hmm.
You have to win, even if you don't win the division. This is a game being tied for the division lead and just losing on a tiebreaker is, for me, okay.
Yeah.
But this is the stride you have to make, and you have to win this game. So I do have the Cardinals winning this game.
I do too.
Panthers, Bucks. I got the Bucks.
I don't have anything to say.
I don't even know if Brady's going to play.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has to. I don't. Like I
Who's
said,
their backup? Is it Glennon?
No,
not Glennon.
Is it Glennon?
I don't know. It's somebody.
I know Trask is on the team.
Trask is on the team, but they have someone else there.
Yeah,
they have some 30-year-old dude that's there. I'm sure.
Then the game of the week in the AFC, Chargers at the Raiders. That place is going to be loud.
Mm-hmm.
And the Raiders just had another player get a DUI after the win. I mean, what else can you do to this team? Darren Waller's back. Hunter Renfro's a beast. Zay Jones. Is it Zay Jones? He's coming along.
Yep.
And Jacobs is just getting the job done. He's not sexy. He's not anything. He's sort of like Montgomery to me, where you look up and you're like, damn, he's got 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. I did not know that. And I do not believe in the coaching staff. I do not believe that they are good enough yet. And I am picking the Raiders to win this game.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, so for me, the hardest part with this game is I have two teams that I think are borderline good teams, but I think they're also borderline bad teams. Something with the Chiefs, Chargers, I don't know what it is that's bad. I don't know if it's coaching, kind of gets a resemblance of Dallas a little bit. I'm not really sure because you have a quarterback that's 105 QBR, 4,000 yards passing, 35 touchdowns. He just passed Phillip Rivers single season. These are things you're doing. Your running back is top 2 in the league at the moment in yards, and he's really talented. You have a great Keenan Allen. Your line is all right. You don't really have a tight end. Your wide receiver 2 is Your defense is But the Raiders are kind of the same thing. The Raiders have an okay, good quarterback. He does what he needs to do. He doesn't have a lot of weapons. He's got Waller. Your defense is Both these teams to me are the exact same team. I got the Raiders winning this game. I think they're the hotter team. They're at home.
Is this one of those things that Chandler does? He says that one thing just because he doesn't want to jinx the other?
Oh, I don't care if the Raiders make the – I don't care if Chargers make the playoffs or not. Like I said, they're not even my second favorite team. I like Justin Herbert. I think he's a good guy. I don't know him personally. But the Raiders have a lot to play for. They really do. Both these teams have a lot to play for. And two, John Madden, all that kind of stuff. Who knows what kind of thing they're going to do for the stadium. I just feel like this is that game where you said when they fired Gruden. I think this is kind of the opposite, where they went out and won. I think this is kind of the same thing. John Madden, the legacy, this game, how important it is at home. I think the Raiders come out and find a way to win because this is kind of the game Derek Carr has won at times. He does win big games. So I get the Raiders winning this game. I know it's surprising, guys. But
all right. So that being said, it was the Fantasy Football Championships this past weekend. You weren't in any of them.
Nope.
You didn't finish last in Wet Booty, though.
No, I didn't. No. Second to last. I did get some wins there at the end.
Yep,
I do think the person I was playing did not set their lineups.
Probably not. Is that Justin?
Nope. Brandon.
Oh, yeah. He's
Nope. But here's the other thing, though. I did make it to the second round of the playoffs, didn't I not?
Yes.
In
and League of Extraordinary Legends.
That's never happened. I was one of the fourth best team.
Yep, you finished fourth, which is good.
ADD Show, I made it to the semifinals too.
Yep. You made more playoffs than I did.
Yep.
I think you made 3, didn't you?
I did, yep.
Did you make 3?
I did not make it in my league. No, 2 and 2.
No, so you were 2 and 2, so the same as me. I didn't make it in ADD. And the funny thing is we're in 4 divisions, 4 different fantasy leagues with Nate and Chandler. And Nate and Chandler, 3 out of the 4 leagues we're in with them, 2 of them, they faced each other in the finals.
Who ended up winning it in my league? Because I got to mail them the trophy.
Nate
did?
Yep. Right. Nate ended up beating Chandler. Nate ended up winning Wet Booty. against Danny. Stopped Danny from going back-to-back. League of Extraordinary Legends, thank you very much. I won my 5th title in that league in 10 years. I know nobody wants to congratulate me. Nobody wants to say good job. Nobody wants to say good season.
At this point, it's kind of like with Brady with all of his titles. Like, just we don't care.
You know what? I've got a ring on every one of my fingers.
You really don't.
You know, that's all I have to say there.
It's fantasy football. Okay, Tom Brady.
And
at this point, we just don't like you.
You know what? It's fantasy football when you don't win, but it means something when you did win, and you'd brag too. So, but in the inaugural ADD League finals, it was Nate versus Chandler, and Nate won again. Nate won 3 fantasy leagues that were in with him, and 3 out of the 4.
He had a great year.
Yeah, he really did. Him and Chandler both had great years, and so congratulations to Nate. Chandler came in second. I believe Mike came in third. Can't remember. I think Logan came in 4th, and then my buddy Steve came in 5th. And so that was that. I think I came in 7th. So that means if you made the playoffs, that means you came in 6th.
Yeah, I think I was last in the playoffs, though. I think I lost the first round. So, but I had a pretty good team. I mean, I was out of the playoffs 3 weeks into the playoffs, and I made it last 3 weeks. I think I won 3 straight.
Yeah.
That was a very competitive league, surprisingly. I didn't think it would be competitive. There was 1 or 2 teams that really didn't show up.
Now, funny story. This is a funny story. Kyle and Freshie. Kyle finished last in the ADD League. Freshie finished second to last. The man that didn't win a game all year, 0-14, he ended up coming in 9th place.
Yeah.
So he
never set a lineup, never nothing.
He ended up being the, he beat many teams at the end there. And so everybody, thank you so much for your participation in that. We will put a little thing out on Facebook on that also.
Yep, it'll probably be up the same day as the podcast. We'll do something on Friday. This will go up Friday.
Yep.
I'll put something up, or Mark will, about the standings and thanking everybody and what the winner will get, and then we'll get some information about doing it again next year. If all the same people want to be in, that can happen. We can also, if we get more interest, we can add more teams. I'm okay with going up to 20 teams if we have to.
Yeah.
I want to make it fun. I want to add as many players. I want this to be as open as possible.
Yep. We're going to change the scoring because Nate, Logan, and Chandler, they complained about the scoring.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see what, so we don't have bonus points and we don't have that, like.
They're so special.
But it's at the same time, we'll do some extra things to it next year. Keep tweaking it.
Yep. Me and Mark will talk about it off air too. We haven't talked to the people in it, but I'm still debating. Haven't talked to him about it if we're going to do a keeper or not, or just a refresh league every year.
Fresh refresh.
That's what I thought too.
Yep. Fresh refresh. I do have to figure out a way to get Nate that T-shirt. For winning. I don't even know what it's going to say, but we'll have something.
We'll make it something simple.
And I'll have to talk the wife into making it too. So, and then for me, I don't know where we're at on time.
We're good.
But this is just an exciting time for me as a fan of the Bengals. It's a very exciting time for me. They didn't back into the playoffs. They didn't, get lucky. They didn't do anything. They went out and got it. This team's playing really well right now. It could end up crashing in their faces, and they just don't win a playoff game. And,
that's a Bengals thing to do.
And everything. But
not
at
a mean
the same
way.
time,
it's a Bengals thing to do.
At the same time, I just feel like I've said before, I just feel like this team is different. I feel that they're built different. I feel that the attitude. I think the attitude on the team is different.
We got a cocky, good quarterback. Not a mean way, and not a bad kind of cocky. He knows what he wants.
And to be honest with you, Zach Taylor, he should be in the conversation for Coach of the Year.
Potentially.
I mean, the team never won more than 5 games. He's won 6 games in his first 2 years. If they win this week, they have 11. That's almost doubling your win percentage for your first 2 years. The team that they've built and the way he has coached, he should be up for Coach of the Year. I know Belichick's going to be up for Coach of the Year. I don't even
want to name who's in third for Coach of the Year, so let's keep going.
Who would be in third?
McCarthy's in third right now on NFL.com.
I don't know.
That's
how.
gross. I know. I was saying.
I mean,
I think
I would take the Eagles coach.
Nick Sirianni.
Yep, I would say he should be up for the
I think
running.
one of the reasons why I don't agree with it, but I think one of the reasons McCarthy's there is because we only had 5 wins last year. Now we have 11. Again, it's dumb. I think Zach Taylor really deserves some hella good credit. Really, really good credit. I think Bill Belichick deserves really good credit.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds dumb. They only have 5 wins, but the Jets coach, honestly, from where they were last year.
Do they have 5 wins?
They have 5 wins.
The Jets do not have 5 wins.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Look it up. I'm pretty sure I just saw 5 wins.
The Jets do not have 5 wins. I am saying that on the record right now.
Oh, they're 4-12. Okay,
right,
sorry.
see?
Sorry. I thought they were 5-11. My bad, guys. My bad. Still, another rebuild, another team heading in the right direction. It's just a very interesting season.
Very interesting season, and I mean,
I'm very sad to say that this will be the last week, but then we'll have playoff talk. We'll only have 5 or 6 games. We'll be able to really get into games more because you know how we kind of do the Jets versus the blank, and we're like, all right, Jets. We won't have that next week. We'll be able to
we're going to be able to deep dive into certain things, certain matchups, and everything, but. At the same time, playoffs come, anything can happen.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody can get hot, and the last place team in the playoffs,
not confident in any team.
They could go on a run and win the Super Bowl. But
the Giants did it.
I am leaning towards the AFC winning the Super Bowl now. I just feel that the AFC is battle-tested, and I do not feel that very many teams in the NFC are battle-tested. That's just my opinion. I know it's not probably a popular opinion because I do believe I'm the only person in our friend group that is an AFC fan.
The NFC has a lot of higher record teams and much more higher win total divisions. Like, again, Green Bay hasn't really been battle tested, but you know who they are. The Buccaneers really haven't been battle tested, but you know who they are. But like the NFC West is battle tested. The NFC East in a way is battle tested because they're all beating the hell out of each other. Again, if I had to pick a battle-tested second seed Bengals versus the second seed Bucks, I'm picking the Bucks, right? But that doesn't mean they're not good. Any team can catch on at any time. That's the thing about the playoffs. That's why it's so interesting because you can be like, oh man, look, Dallas has to play, I don't know, the Rams or something. Well, they're not gonna play the Rams, but you know what I mean. They're gonna play the so-and-so. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good matchup.
Well, they could. I mean, if they finish 4th and the Rams finish 5th.
It could happen. I keep forgetting the Rams don't have it solidified. Like, that's a good matchup. You're not confident in that matchup, even if you're the Rams. I mean, no offense, even though Dallas doesn't scare you, the defense does if you're a quarterback. Yep. None of these teams are safe, and that's what I love most about this time of the year. So we're going to enjoy our games this weekend.
Yes.
You guys enjoy the games this weekend. You guys will hear this on Friday, and then playoffs are right around the corner.
Yep. Game starts Saturday, 2 games Saturday, and then you've got...
There's no Monday night game, right?
No Monday night game. Season ends on Sunday night, Chargers-Raiders.
Yep.
So everybody have a good week.
Yep.
I think I'm working 12 to 10 on Sunday. Damn it. Everybody have a good week. We'll talk to you soon. Nate, get your schedule ready because next week, I think it's going to be Wednesday or Thursday. Or Monday or Tuesday, because I think I have Monday or Tuesday off.
Whatever works.
So whatever works. So Nate, Monday or Tuesday next week.
All right. You guys have a great weekend.
All right. Have a good week, guys.
See you guys.